I don't ever want to feel like I need a man.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reacting to a video titled "The Truth About Being a Single Woman." Let's go ahead and get right into this video, guys. Make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and show your support to the channel. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, my name is Essence.
Hi, my name is Julie.
And I'm single.
And I am single.
And I am single.
AF. Oh, I definitely can feel lonely, but I don't know necessarily if that's because I'm single.
I do feel lonely sometimes.
I don't feel any lonelier than I think any human would feel, whether they're in a relationship or not.
Societally, like, there is a lot of pressure sometimes to be either dating or in a relationship or like having a bunch of hookup buddies.
But I feel like sometimes not having a partner doesn't mean that you're lonely. It just means that you're on your own, you're independent.
Okay, so here we go with this independent thing.
All my life I had to fight.
And not really valuing a relationship, partnering up with a man and just living the best life. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of women tend to go the independent route because they don't want to feel weak or feel like they have to be dependent on somebody. So they'll just be like, no, I can do everything on my own. Like,
yeah,
everything, like, you know what I mean? So we all hear it, but obviously I don't know if they're being 100% honest about the loneliness thing. It's like, I think it does play a part with not having, you know, someone to share your life with.
Yeah.
It does play a part in it, right? Maybe, I don't know if they're being entirely honest about that because it is hard to kind of swallow that pill.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic, because this was shot 2020, right?
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, like, let's be honest, a lot of people are lonely, especially women. You know, if you're by yourself and you need to maybe kill a spider, or maybe you need to open a jar of pickles, or whatever the situation
or even
is.
just companionship. You know what I mean?
Companionship.
Literally just like friendship. You know what I mean? So
right,
yeah.
you need somebody. Everyone needs somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. But let's continue.
I don't think being single is like this lonely, dreadful experience.
I'm a stand-up and I'm an actor, and I feel like a lot of my days are just spent on my own independently. You know, I think it depends on the day.
Maybe she's so busy that she doesn't really see, I guess, the lack of having somebody there, right? Because I guess her career is ultimately her man, so to speak. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
No, especially for her, because she says she's a stand-up. So in the entertainment industry,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when you're young and, well, she looks like she's fairly young. She's probably thinking, oh, I have time. I have plenty of options. I'm going to city doing different shows, whatnot. Like, yo, but seriously though, so that's probably the mindset.
When she hits the wall and ultimately all of her options have dried up, she's going to be singing a different tune, right?
Yeah. So right now, while she has that opportunity and while she's still, you know, fit and cute, whatever, she's going to, you know, take advantage of that maybe. And then when she's just like, oh, shoot, now it's hitting me, like I should really have kids and whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's missing her prime window right now, and she's kind of putting that energy towards her career. But that career, as we both know, is not going to be fulfilling in her life ultimately.
In the long term.
In the long term, it will come to an end, unfortunately.
Working, hobbies are the, I guess, obvious answers. But to me, I think it's more being really kind of like secure within yourself.
I think it's possible to feel really like lonely when you are in a relationship, if you're in a relationship with the wrong person.
Having a lot of friends around me, making sure that I have activities that I'm passionate about, and not really worrying too much about finding the one, being in a relationship.
All right, so she's basically saying that, you know, she's going to put her hobbies and her friends and kind of mask the root cause of her loneliness, and that's companionship and ultimately being with a man, right? Building a relationship. So it seems like she's playing these mental gymnastics, so to speak, and kind of looping around what the real issue is. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think, you know, over time, you keep trying to fill your time with, like, you know, buying pets and doing random hobbies, you know, just to avoid the dating market, right? Or like the dating environment, which over time, you know, the longer you keep that up, the longer you're going to push time for you to have like a family and whatnot, right? So you don't want to avoid it for so long. It's better for you to understand, okay, what the problem area is and actually try to, you know, better yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Don't just keep avoiding the problem.
Put
like
yourself in a scenario to meet somebody,
Yeah.
to pair bond with somebody. Because if you're single for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, ultimately you don't have the relationship muscle memory going to be in a relationship. You just simply don't know how. So, I mean, it's a detriment to her. She's thinking that she's going to be free and liberated. But again, it's going to come to an end. And ultimately, she's not going to have the skills to keep a guy long term.
Genuinely enjoy like being by myself, dating when I want to date, like casually.
So I think I'm very optimistic about my life in general, and I feel like I'm very driven. I feel like I have a lot of trust in this last year that like my career will go where it needs to go and that my relationships will unfold kind of how they are supposed to.
All right, so she's just basically saying, let's leave it to the universe.
go with the wind. Like
Go with the wind, put my career first, and ultimately a man is going to follow that.
it doesn't work that way though. You have to put in work. Relationship is work.
Yeah.
Plain
You got to
and
put the
simple.
work in. You have to ask yourself, what does the man want? Like, what would he want from me? And ultimately position yourself in a way where you can attract that. And these women think that, okay, I'm strong, independent, and my career is going well, and I'm really good at that. So ultimately, those skills are going to transfer into a relationship. But it's a complete opposite, because when you're fighting in the corporate world or being assertive in your industry, those characteristics are a detriment to a relationship, because you're supposed to be the soft, gentle one. And if you're a woman and you're, aggressive, ultimately opposites attract, right? So you're going to get somebody that's soft for a man, and you're not going to respect him over time. And ultimately that's not the man that you want.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that?
No, honestly, you said like everything. So no, I agree with you.
Being single for me is definitely better at this stage in my life because I'm not really ready to settle down.
I spent a lot of my time kind of focusing on my career, focusing on being independent, and I kind of thought that wanting a relationship meant that I was weak. And I've realized recently that it's not a bad thing to want a relationship. Doesn't make you any less of a woman, and doesn't make you this kind of damsel in distress.
It's funny how it's always like when you're young and how much later it hits. You know what I mean? It's surprising that it doesn't happen sooner. Like, I don't know. I feel like for me at 25, I was just kind of like, I want to be in a committed relationship like now, and it's funny for me to hear women that are in their like 30s saying like, now it finally hit me. It's like, it took you until 30 for it to hit you that you know what I mean, to be in a relationship and
Well,
seriously.
the feminist movement has lied to a lot of women.
This is true. Yeah.
And they, use up their 20s doing diddly squat, and then they look up a decade later and they're like, holy crap, like I've wasted so much time. And that's just half the battle. Like some of the women don't even get to that aha moment. They're still in their 30s and still thinking as if they're in their 20s, right? But let's go ahead and continue.
It's funny. I think in the last year, it was very important that I was single. It was really important for me to be independent in this last year and find my own voice and really just establish a routine for myself.
I'm just not ready for that because there comes like a lot of structure with that. There comes a lot of like compromise and sacrifice, and I'm just at a point in my life where I'm not really ready.
So here we go.
Like,
Don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't want to put in the work.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Seriously, that's exactly
I
what
don't
they're
want
thinking.
to deal with a hard-headed, strong, independent woman as I'm working 14, 16 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like a man has to come home to that. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And with this mindset, imagine her getting into a relationship. She'll be more thinking like they're not going to kind of find like a happy middle. They're going to be just,
clashing,
like very separate.
Yeah.
So this is why it's important to kind of, frame your mindset to work with people. Do you know what I mean? Just even that alone. And then kind of getting yourself ready and preparing yourself for a relationship.
Yeah.
And just frame your mindset that it's like you're a team. You know what I mean? Like that's the best way to go about it.
But remember too, it starts with the home, right?
Oh, true.
It starts with good parents, a good relationship with your father. And unfortunately, in the Black community, you have a lot of these broken dynamics that don't teach these core values that you see in other races, right? Which is unfortunate. But let's continue.
Definitely a struggle to find someone compatible and to find someone who can really be there for you.
I actually feel like I'm transitioning now into a place where everything is a little more stable, a little more figured out, and I actually feel like now is the time that someone could fit in, so I'm hopeful. I think we're actually in a kind of amazing time right now where people are a lot more vocal about like, you're not, having a relationship status be the only thing you're aiming for in your life. For me, it's been really helpful on social media to see kind of more positive, more open-minded outlooks.
Social media is terrible for me when it comes to loneliness.
See, here's the thing about social media. A lot of people try to mirror what they see,
Compare.
good or bad, compare, and then put their personal feelings into the images and videos. But in reality, you should just be living your life, being the best version of yourself, ultimately working on getting the outcome that you want, and not necessarily, referring to the Kardashians to mirror what life is really about.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that?
No, you can't let social media influence you too much, right? Like, and let's be honest, a lot of social media is fake. You know what I mean? These people that you see on Instagram that are all couple goals and all this stuff, like, how long do they really see together? Sometimes?
Behind the
you know what I
scenes,
mean? Behind
yeah.
the scenes, it's really not that glamorous, So I think what you see on social media is all this like fun vacations and like going on dinner dates and, something like just very like fluffy stuff.
I work in media, so I also know that like, I don't want to say very few things are real, but things are like, there's a story being told. So they're very contrived. On TV, you often only see the highlights. And I know that relationships take a lot of work. So I think I look at them only for entertainment.
I think we're kind of in a new era when it comes to that kind of thing, which I'm all about. It's more portrayed in the media like women, like the female-driven anxiety that is being single. I feel like men probably are concerned about it. It's just not really portrayed.
I think that women are very conditioned, like even very young, to think that they have to be with someone, that they have to get married, especially by a certain age, that they're not complete and they're not whole.
All right, so it seems like the Black lady has an understanding as to, you should get married at a young age. Relationships are a lot of work, but at the same time, it seems like what she knows or the information that she knows, she's kind of overriding that with her own thought process and the way she's thinking. And it seems like she's very set in her ways and she's not going to bend or fold. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what's funny? A lot of women know what they're supposed to do. Everyone has this idea. Everyone hears it from their parents, their family members, whatnot, that, you should try to find, especially for women, right? So try to find a good man who has a good family, like family oriented and, get married and have kids and you guys can, live a happy life. That's usually, everyone knows that's the route to go, right? But then it's like, that doesn't sound appealing or that sounds boring. Let me not do that and let me just figure it out myself. And then guess what? They do their little mess or whatever and then they come back to like, oh, actually no, that is what I want.
And I think for a lot of women, it can definitely impact them negatively because they start to feel like incomplete or like they haven't achieved a certain thing if they're not in a relationship by a certain age.
Being single can be rough AF at times, let's be honest.
Find other ways to be fulfilled. Don't always focus on a partner because you don't need anyone.
Another person doesn't make you not lonely. It's just like a Band-Aid.
I don't ever want to feel like I need a man.
All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and end this video. What are your final thoughts?
Find a balance, honestly. That's the first thing that comes to my mind because it's like, sure, okay, if you're in a moment of being single, right? That's part of life. But understand that if you put yourself in the best foot forward and you're like, let me be serious about my dating life and not just, because what happens is that this is a lot of complaining. I'm not going to lie, right? That's just what it is. You complain about,
deflecting
you're just complaining single life sucks and all this stuff, right? And it's like, oh, okay, well, and then you go back like going about your day. You don't do anything about it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's better to really take it seriously and be like, you know what? This is important to me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop fight. I'm not going to continue fighting the feeling, because that's what a lot of women do.
Yeah.
So let me actually do something about it, because I do want to I want to like with somebody. So let me take the right steps forward, talk to the right people. Let's say talk to men to get the right advice to say like, hey, what are guys looking for? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Talk to a therapist. Maybe it's your mindset. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, just that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Today's society has failed a lot of modern women, and it seems like they're going against their hard wiring to pair bond with a man. And again, with social media, friends, different influences are ultimately overriding what they should be doing. And I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to suffer, right? It's not like, you know, a man and a woman is the same in regards to fertility and being able to attract somebody younger, right? If a guy that's 50, he can attract somebody that's 21, 22, assuming he has money, right? Because that's where a man's value is in his provision. And for a woman, it's in her beauty and youth. And if you're 50 or, you know, you're a lot older, you're just wasting time, right? And here these women are, they know what to do, but they ultimately just don't want to do it.
Yes.
It's almost as if they're in denial,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
It's media. But anyways, yeah. So
Fair enough. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and end this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.
bye guys.